tukasema zirejee. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi kama kamati tumefanya kazi yetu. Tumeshukuru kwa sababu ya uongozi wako na kutuelekeza, umetupa kile tulihitaji. Na kwa hivyo ninaomba waheshimiwa mkaweza kupitisha ripoti hii ili ikaenenda kiwango kingine cha kumsaidia mwananchi wa kaunti ya Uasin Gishu, na pia itatumika na kaunti nyingine kulainisha mambo yao ambao haienendi sawa. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka niwachie na nikomee pale na niseme kongole kamati, na Mungu awabariki. Ninaunga mkono ripoti hii. Asante.
Thank you, the mover. Thank you, the mover of the motion and the seconder. I now propose a question that this county assembly do adopt the report of the AD-HOC committee on petition on FINLAND scholarship program through Uasin Gishu County Government dated 28th February 2023 and table on 28th and table first and table on 28th February 2023 with or without amendments. Honorable members, I will give 2 minutes to each honorable member who want to contribute so that we can move so fast, so we can debate. Honorable Thomas Yego.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for allowing me to stand and support this motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, you realize that we are here just because of somebody.
Yes, Honorable Sangok.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move a motion to extend this sitting time pursuant to Standing Order number 30-34 until it accomplishes the business of the order paper of the day. Mr. Speaker, the report that already is in the House has been just seconded, and members ought to have time to contribute. And I see that the extension of time is of essence. And I ask Honorable Sawe, who is our chair budget and also member representing Kamagut, to second. Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Honorable Sawe. Thank you, Honorable Member. I now propose a question that this motion be extended, the sitting time, until this business is completed, for honorable members to have their say, the debate. Honorable Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do support that the sitting of this honorable house be extended, because ordinarily, if it is not, you'll have to bring it to a halt when it comes to 12:30, and honorable members are very much eager to dispense this matter that has been sitting with us so that it can go to the next level. Therefore, I support. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Goretti. Maybe, Honorable Thomas, I will give you an opportunity. Just another motion that has been brought up. So then I will give you an opportunity. Honorable Goretti.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to concur with Honorable Songok that we do extend the time, because this is a very weighty matter that each and every member would really want to contribute. And also, we have the audience with us who are the petitioners, and they would really want to hear from the members. Therefore, Chair, our Speaker, I do support that we extend. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. I now put a question that this time be extended from until this business of the day has been done with it. As many of the same opinions say aye. Aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Thomas Yego, you can continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing us have extra time to handle this matter. This is shows how serious this matter is, and a great honor to the committee. I want to thank the committee through the chair, and thank your office for standing with us and supporting us. Mr. Speaker, I was talking about where we are now. We are in the situation that we are just simply because of the legal framework that was not put in place. You realize that there were no policies to guide the entire process. It was a matter of mutual agreement, mutual trust that was done within outside the law. And that is where we are now. I want to raise this issue, Mr. Speaker, that in future we need to do to ensure that we have proper framework and policies to guide all these issues that we are handling. Because the generation and our future must be guided within the law. And from the recommendation of the committee, Mr. Speaker, it's good that individual people who have been mentioned, who are actually involved by abuse of office, I think we recommend that your office help us to ensure that the recommendation be implemented immediately so that the Kenyans, especially our youth, get justice. Mr. Speaker, this House is mandated. It has 3 key mandates. Number 1 is the oversight. And I think the committee did their work by looking at what took place, going through. Number 2 is legislation. We need proper laws and policies to guide all these things. You realize that what happened is that this house was excluded. I don't know whether it was done intentionally or somebody was doing his own things, demeaning or looking at this house as if it has nothing to do. Number 3, we have done our role of representation. The petitioners came with all the issues, and as Honorable House, which is mandated to represent the Kenyans, the youth, the people who complain, I think we'll do our role to represent them. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, there is this pronoun that was used mostly, we decided. We decided. And when we say we, who are these? So we need a thorough investigation through all the government agencies that can help in doing a thorough investigation. Because when we say we don't know who is we and who is that. Mr. Speaker, I want to end by saying that this matter should be given priority in all the issues that are being handled. We want to request and propose to the current government to help us in looking at these issues so that we don't fall in the trap of the previous and other regimes that did their own things outside the law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the report.
Honorable Goretti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I really want to congratulate our able chair for having read through the report, which is very voluminous, tirelessly, and to the end. I also want to congratulate colleagues, the committee members, for having taken their time outside their busy schedule to deliberate on this report. I also want to say thank you for supporting the committee, Mr. Speaker, until we have come up with such a report. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also want to appreciate the petitioners, because if the petitioners had not come out to petition over this Finland issue, most of our parents, most of our children, our students could be suffering silently somewhere. But we want to really appreciate the petitioners because they have been an eye-opener to most of the parents who are intending their children to go study overseas. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that this report is going to save millions and millions of money which could have been lost by our society, by the community of Uasin Gishu. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that having looked at the report, we've all realized that this is something that people sat in a corner or in an hotel or wherever they were and decided on how they were going to siphon money from the parents. Reason why I'm saying so, Mr. Speaker, is that I am privileged to have been in the last assembly, and I was in the Committee of Education. And even you as a speaker today, you were in this assembly. And there's no day that any report has been brought to this house for you to commit it to the Committee of Education concerning the same. There's no day, Mr. Speaker, that we have sat in the Committee of Education for the last 5 years to discuss on overseas or scholarship, sponsorship for our students in other countries. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I would say this is something that was not properly instituted or constituted. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, all that have been mentioned here to have withdrawn, transferred money from one account to another account, from one hand to another hand, I want to believe they have committed a crime. Mr. Speaker, we are all aware that our students or our children to have gone to study in other countries did not begin today. Neither did it begin with this program. And most of us are very much aware that once you've paid the school fees and the child has gotten that visa to go to that country, it is upon the student while there to see means and ways of even raising fees for him or herself. I didn't see the reason why the same students who are to go to temporary university to be told, while you'll be there working, your money should be sent back home, then the same parents to take it to the account of Wasinigishu Finland program. I don't see the reason why you should be transferring money into cycles, yet it was so easy for the students to be there, work and pay their school fees. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to concur with the report that this report should be taken under a forensic audit as recommended by the report. And once that has been done, Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that all those that have committed crime or an offense should be brought to book. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we want to say that our parents should not continue, our constituents should not continue to suffer anymore. This should bring everything to a stop, so that anyone who is going to begin the same program, including the new government, because we know there are engagements going on, we want to have policies first. And before any policy, nobody should pretend to be supporting or assisting our parents for their students to go to overseas studies. Let us have a policy so that the same policy can be able to guide us to ensure that there's transparency, there is accountability, and at the end of the day, we get value for our money. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to say I do support this report fully. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kimani Wanji.
Thank you, Mr.
And limit your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I move to support this motion. First of all, I want to congratulate the AD-HOC committee led by Ainab Koyolare, MCA, Honorable Chepkonga. He was so impartial and focused to that committee in steering that committee. And I want to tell my friend, Honorable Chepkonga, that the sky is the limit for you. He will be the next senator of this republic, of this Uasin for standing with the rights of those who were crying when they needed him. Secondly, I happened to attend most of the sitting, despite the fact that I wasn't a member of the committee. And what came up during the hearing is that the executive were in total violation of our existing law. The end does justify the means. And the end has proven to us that there are a lot of illegalities, from forgery to withdrawing of money without proper documentation. The bank at one given time opened an account without a trust deed. How it happened, God knows. But the end has justified the means. That program came into play without proper policy. We have education committee, we have youth committee inside the assembly, we have delegated legislation committee that should have been tasked with coming with the legal procedure and the right policy and framework that will have steered the whole program. But what did the executive did? They went and opted to have their own program without the input of this assembly. And as such, today they have been found guilty to what they did. And we must stand by this report. The report of this House is our report. There's a recommendation 5 that says
the county executive to engage the services of an independent and reputable external forensic auditor. Let the executive be aware that we are watching them. Let them appoint a reputable external auditor who happens to be independent. Failure to that will still have words to confront any kind of illegality that will come from their place. With that said, Mr. Speaker, I want to confirm that a lot of parents have suffered at this program. I've just received a call from a student, from a person who ought to go to finish an embassy. That students come from my ward, and we did a fundraising which we collected 1.2 million. The student was at the embassy crying because he has no further money. They were told that that for them to get the visa, they ought to give another 960,000 shillings. Just imagine a student whom we contributed for 1.2 million shillings being asked for another 960 shillings in order for her to go. That is the worst syndicate that we have had so far in this year's issue. And we commit to stand by the petitioners, the people at the gallery. Be assured that this house will stand by you at any given time. Thank you.
Honorable Patrick Kimeli.
Mheshimiwa, nataka kukushukuru Mheshimiwa Spika, ya kwanza kwa wewe kuunda jopo kazi hii ya kuweza kuchunguza mambo haya ya masomo ya Finland. Tunakushukuru sana ofisi yako na kujitolea kusaidia watu wetu wa Uasin Gishu na kuombea maisha marefu, na pia ninajua unaenda mbali. Kwa hivyo spika wetu tunakupenda. Nafikiri wewe ndio spika wa kwanza kuleta mambo mazuri hapa Uasin Gishu, kusimama na watu hapa. Pia nimshukuru chairman wa jopo kazi hii, maana alisimama kidete na sauti kali na mwelekeo kamili. Nilifikiri utapigiwa simu uambiwe utapewa kitu kidogo waachane na hiyo shughuli, lakini wewe ulisimama wima kabisa. Pamoja na ile jopo kazi, tunasema ni asante kabisa kwa kuleta ripoti nzuri. Mungu aweze kuwabariki. Na vile mwenzangu Mheshimiwa Wanjoi amesema, kama kura ingepigwa leo basi yangu ya kwanza ishafika pale, kulingana na vile wazo lake lipo. Lakini nataka kuchangia hii kwa kusema, Mheshimiwa Spika, nafikiri ile neno la Biblia kwamba na kila mtu atabeba mzigo wake mwenyewe imefika. Nafikiri ripoti hii si ya kuleta heri njema ama salamu ya kuambia wale walifanya mambo haya hakuna ubaya, ni ripoti tu fulani. Tunataka hii iwe ripoti moja ambayo inaleta mabadiliko Uasin Gishu. Mtu abebe mzigo wake. Kama alikula pesa arudishe, na tusimuone kwa ofisi ya serikali. Aondolewe kabisa. Maana machozi ya watu imekuwa nyingi Uasin Gishu, hasa ya wazazi. Mzazi alifikiri nikiuza shamba langu na mtoto wangu afike tu hivi Finland, miezi 2-3 amenitumia pesa, nimerudisha shamba langu. Wengine walienda kuomba loan iweze kuwasaidia, lakini sasa imekuwa shida kabisa. Sisi waheshimiwa wengine tumehusika na harambee aina hizo, kuchanga 1,000,000 na kitu. Kumbe tulikuwa tunachangia wapendwa hapa wapigie mwili pole. Hatukuwa na habari. Wameshakula hizi pesa na bado tunahangaika. Na hakuna kitu mbaya Mheshimiwa Spika hiwe sasa yule kiongozi anayetegemewa kupeana mwelekeo ndio yeye anatumika kuleta fedhea kama hii, na hakuna kaunti ambayo imeletewa fedhea mbaya kama hii yetu ya Uasin Gishu. Nafikiri kaunti zingine pia wana program kama hizi ya kupeleka wanafunzi kule ng'ambo kusoma, lakini hii yetu imelete jina mbaya kabisa. Nilikuwa ninashindwa kutumia ile wazo la mtu mmoja katika Biblia ambaye alikuwa anaitwa Tomaso, ambaye aliwaambia wanafunzi wenzake, kama Yesu amefufuka basi lazima niweke kidole changu. Unajua jambo hili limefanya kwamba governor wetu ambaye analete masomo tena kama hii kwenda kule Canada na sehemu nyingine, imefanya tulete ile wazo la Tomaso kwamba lazima kwanza niguse ndio niamini. Sababu naweza tena weka pesa hapo iende namna hivyo. Kwa hivyo, kwa sababu tulianza vibaya na picha tayari imechorwa namna hivyo. Kwa hivyo ninaomba lazima kwanza sheria ipitishwe hapa, wazazi wahusishwe ndani ya kaunti hiyo, wenyewe wajue mwelekeo vile unaenda, waondoe mambo ya kusema hii ni kinukuu sponsorship. Iwe tu ni masomo, mzazi analipa kiwango hii, ijulikane wazi, tujue ni ofisi ndio hii, wanaohusika ni huyu na huyu, na iwe imewekwa kama itawekwa katika wizara ya elimu, tujue ni hapo inasimamiwa na serikali yetu ya Uasin Gishu. Jambo lingine ambalo nataka niombe Mheshimiwa Speaker ni kwamba badala ya governor pamoja na wale kupanga jambo, wacha wazazi pamoja na ofisi hile na governor wakae chini, tukubaliane kwanza hii programu itaenda namna gani, kwa sababu hatutaki kuleta aibu nyingine ambayo hatujawahi tarajia itakuja kutendeka. Kwa hiyo mimi kuna pale wamepeana ni kinukuu recommendation ambayo imepeanwa ya kwamba waliohusika EACC ichukue hatua. Basi tunaomba ile hatua ichukuliwe na tuanze, na isichukuliwe kisiri siri. Tunataka tuone ripoti ikienda namna gani. Ile idara ikichukua kazi ya kuchunguzi, inachunguza, inapea wananchi ripoti ya kwamba huyu tumemchunguza hivi, huyu tumemuita siku fulani, huyu, tupate ripoti kamili. Ndio turudishe imani kwa wazazi na wakazi wa Uasin Gishu. Wale watu wachukuliwe hatua kabisa. Na vile imetolewa kwamba wawekwe kando, wasioendelea na hiyo kazi, ningeomba ifanyike mara moja. Wale walikuwa nasimamia akaunti hii watolewe mara moja, wekwe kando kabisa. Ndio uchunguzi ukiendelea, hao watu hawako hapo, ndio tuweze kuwa na imani na mambo kama haya, kwamba sasa watoto wetu wanaenda kusoma vizuri. Kwa haya machache naunga mkono Bwana Speaker.
Honorable Rebecca Chepchirchir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Let me register my gratitude to our able chair of AD-HOC committee. We almost declared him as a hostile chairman because he used to give a lot of rules in the house. But I want to say thank you so much for taking us through the recommendation of the AD-HOC committee. I want to thank also the petitioners who did not sit and see other parents, their money is being wasted. I want to thank them for opening an eye in this house. Mheshimiwa, Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to also thank the government of Uasin Gishu for bringing up this noble idea of taking our children to overseas. The idea was so good. It was so impressive. It was going to help the youths of this county to go and venture outside there. Since we have scarcity of jobs in our county, it was a very noble idea. It was so unfortunate that a very greedy person just came in and snatched something that was so good for our children and our parents. We did a lot of arambes. We have sold all our lands so that we invest in these children in overseas countries. We have seen in our families, the children that our children that have gone to the US, Finland, and we have seen the way they have improved the livelihood of their family members. They have even taken their children, their sisters, their brothers to school. So the idea was so good. I am so worried about the people who just sat in one corner and decided that this is a Christmas fund we want to enjoy and make sure we dine and wine. We have been seeing some of them. You know, these devices keep records. We have been seeing these people going with their families to Zanzibar, to Lodwar, to Mombasa, enjoying the monies of those parents that did not even eat in their homes that night. Some of us, we dedicated the few coins we had to support these families. Mr. Speaker, as I'm standing here, I feel so pained because I've just gotten a call that I rushed out and I did call my chairman to go and listen to students from Finland. I don't know who gave them my number, but one student from Ziwa called me. And it is so bad because as I'm talking now, today on 1st of March, those students are not in class. Even their network has been switched off. They cannot do anything online. They cannot do anything because the money has not been paid. Unfortunately, these students had paid their fees for a whole academic year, 980,000 for a whole academic year. But what they are told in school now is their school fees was only paid for the first semester. So our children, as we are talking now, they are outside there in the cold. They don't know their fate, and they have been told by 31st of this month, they are going to be deported. And yet, their money is somewhere in somebody's pocket. Maybe somebody has bought a land. Maybe somebody is driving a big car because they use the monies of these children. Today, as we are talking, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have our students in the gallery of our Zingishu County Assembly. They have paid monies almost 1.2 million. And they have been denied visas. Some of them, they have not been allowed even to proceed for their visas because they want to pay, they have been asked to pay upfront for another year, which we have never had. I don't know how they arrived to that because all these institutions, you always pay for a financial year, especially a semester. And when a semester is done, you go for another semester. But when you hear somebody asking our students to pay upfront for the next academic year, that baffles me. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think I don't want to expound much because we deliberated on this issue. The report, the findings, and the recommendation that we did in the committee is just final. We only want implementation by the said institutions that we have asked to do that. Because if we don't stop this, soon we are going to have parents who lose parents fast because of stress. We are going to have children who run mad because their plans of going outside there, somebody has just decided to switch it off. Mr. Speaker, it will be unfair for this honorable House if they will not approve this document just to help our community. And I want to tell our parents outside there, we should not be scared not to continue planning and organizing for our children to go and learn outside there. It's a good thing. It's a high time for us, Africa, us in Kenya. We go outside there, because those are developed countries, and they developed through the monies they took from Africa. So we want to bring back the same money to our country by making sure we go to school there, we learn, work for them, and then we develop back home. So we will still want to continue with the programs. But my final remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, is we want the people who are concerned, if there is some monies in the account for the children who are in school now, they should pay that money so that those ones can continue learning and proceed. Mr. Speaker, we have a trust, there's a trust committee, which was constituted unconstitutionally because parents were not called to elect and nominate their trustees. They were handpicked. And when somebody is handpicked to stand on behalf of others, that is an illegality. I want also the government to investigate the people who gave a certificate for trustees. Which minutes did they use in the lands? That means many Kenyans are suffering unknowingly. The same to the bank. Many a times, I am a woman, we have women groups. When we are opening accounts in the bank, there are a lot of questions, a lot of documents we are asked to take so that the 3 members can open an account. But in this scenario, the KCB bank, they just open an account as if it was a personal account. No queries, no minutes, nothing. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, this issue of shaming Uasin Gishu County, it will come to an end. And I hope this assembly will bring the glory of Uasin Gishu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, we must protect our county. Remember the county we are in, the president of this country is coming from. So we don't want to be seen as if we are conning people in our county. I want, Mr. Speaker, sir, if a report is approved, we give them less than 7 days to make sure that this thing has reached the right places for implementation. This is a very painful situation. We don't want to talk much about it. Let me just end there by saying I am supporting this motion. Thank you.
Honorable David Gaitan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Though I was almost about to sacrifice to give Honorable Kafke because he was planning to go to a function. I don't know if that is acceptable. Maybe I can sacrifice maybe Honorable Kafke, and then after that you consider me. Thank you.
It's okay, Honorable Gaitan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir, and thank you so much, my brother and my neighbor, Honorable Shah. The reason why he sacrificed his time, Mr. Speaker, is because I'm supposed to be in a technical college which is in my ward, and they are having a good program, and that is why today they are opening that program. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support this adoption of this report, being one of the members of the AD-HOC committee. I wanted to say that, Mr. Speaker, if you look at our mandate, number 5, it clearly states that establish whether the management of the fund was done in strict compliance with best financial practice, transparency, accountability, and utmost good faith. Looking at those 3 statements, transparency and accountability, after listening to petitioners and listening to respondents, in fact, some of them appeared even 3 times in this committee, but they never provided clear clarification on how these funds were managed. Mr. Speaker, if you check on the fee structure that was read by the chair, you can realize that one student was supposed to pay around 3,867,000 344. That is approximately, if you take €1 to be 130 shillings. But, Mr. Speaker, the parents were not informed that they were supposed to pay around 3 million to 4 million. If they were given that information, Mr. Speaker, they could have made the right decision. Now they are suffering because they were not given the right information. And, Mr. Speaker, we also want to know, this transparency in running this fund. They were called trustees, but they cannot be trusted. In such a manner that, Mr. Speaker, you are sidelining the CECM, who has all the responsibilities. You are sidelining the CEO, that is a County Education Revolving Fund, who was also the signatory. But now, those who are conducting all this is as junior staff who was supposed to take directions from the CEO. But all this, because of malicious intentions, Mr. Speaker, they decided to run the program like that. This report is not witch hunting, Mr. Speaker. We had no malicious intentions, but we wanted to assist our parents, our sisters and brothers whom we contributed during a rampage. Some of them disposed their only assets so that they can change their lives. Mr. Speaker, we are urging the honorable members to pass this report. And this report, if adopted, it will go a long way in bringing sanity in public offices. So that when you are in a public office, you are not supposed to use that office to enrich yourself and to make another one suffer. What we've heard, what we've looked from this report, or from what we had, people enriched themselves from the funds of parents. We are not only requesting the EACC and the DCI to do investigations, but also to carry out lifestyle audit of these staff and those who are involved. The reason why we recommended, Mr. Speaker, that we have staff on permanent and pensionable terms to serve in that trust is because some of them are even not in office now, and they were running this program. The CEO, we are now calling it former CEO, and he was running the program. Mr. Speaker, that is why we said we will have to recommend that we have permanent and pensionable staff being in that program. And I'm supporting what Honorable Chepchir said, that this program was good. That is why we protected the program in recommendation number 7 and number 8, where we said the two accounts, the Euro account and the Kenya shillings account, should be operationalized and constituted well. And it should also have a policy and a law that runs this program. That is what we proposed as the committee. It is high time, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that this report is implemented when it goes to the executive, so that our parents can get justice once and for all. And we also ensure that in future, when you are in that office, you should not use power, make others suffer. For those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to contribute much, yet I was given time by my neighbor. I just want to say I'm supporting this report, and we are praying, and our prayer is implementation of it to be done with immediate effect. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable David, continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for giving Honorable Kapkea time to contribute. Honorable Speaker, today I was expecting to be among the first one contributing on this, but Honorable Speaker, I was touched by the message that it was forwarded by Honorable Rebecca Chepchirchir on the issue of those students who are in Finland, that they are no longer going on with their studies. I was really touched, and I think, Honorable Speaker, after this report, it is time now for us, honorable members, to sit and see how we can do to assist those students. I'm saying that, Honorable Speaker, because my daughter is in Australia, and I was trying to imagine if she was among those in Finland. It's very, very painful, Honorable Speaker. I want to support this report, Honorable Speaker, and to thank also our APO Chair. Thank you, Chair, for the good report, and also being a person of someone who has his own principles. I want to thank you for that. I'm a member to this committee, and I was surprised to hear that there are some who called you, and I'm very sure there are some who are still even calling you, but you stood and decided to do the necessary. Honorable Speaker, the reason why we agree that we have the external auditor was because of the issues. Among the issues is the one that Vice Chair talked about, the issue of Max Global, the one that we were told that Max Global were not paid 30,000 agency fee, and yet from the other team, they were collecting 30,000 as agent fee. That one, because we could not know where the money is, that 30,000. And I was trying to calculate, Honorable Speaker, if it is true, as per the report of Max Global, the CEO, because he told us that he managed to assist 136 students, although one came back. I don't know the reason why. If it was true, 136 students, the amount is 4,080,000. That is a lot of money that we don't know where it is. And that is among the reasons why we are saying we need external auditor. Also, we were told that there was a balance of 55,000, something like that, I think so, Vice Chair, for, from maybe all students who had applied to be to go to Finland. So if you calculate that, even 55,000 times number of students, 136, I'm using 136, but we know very well that there are many students who have gone to Finland. That is around 7,480,000. Those are just among the reasons why we need external auditor. We are not saying that we have lost some money, but we need external auditor so that we can get to know where the money is. And if it is true, the money is still within, then we can see the way forward, even if it means assisting those students who are in Finland, or maybe see what to do with the funds. You can see, Honorable Speaker, that it is true we need external auditor. Another issue that Vice Chair talked about is the issue of transfers of funds, some totaling to 23 million, some 30-something million to students' account. We tried as a committee, but we were not in a position to know if the funds were returned back to the overseas account after the students got the visa. Honorable Speaker, it's my view that the program was good, especially as honorable members. We were telling those students in our words that it is good because you are not supposed to produce statement. Yes, it is true, it was good. But now it has turned to be a bad program, especially to our parents. And Honorable Speaker, I think the main cause of this is that some of us, like honorable members, we were not even called and maybe given details of such information. And I wish, and I want to advise the current government, led by His Excellency our Governor, Chelilim, that now that he's planning to come up with another program for Canada, can he please kindly involve us so that when we are in Crown, we can be in a position to inform even the parents and also the students who are willing to join or to go for further studies in Canada. Honorable Speaker, because of time, I want to say that I support the report, and kindly, honorable members, I think it is our time now to think of those students who are in Finland. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Benjamin Atu.
Basi asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii. Kwanza nataka niseme nashukuru bunge letu tukiongozwa na spika wetu, na sana sana kamati ambayo iliweza kusimamia kazi hii ya kuona ya kwamba watoto wetu wanapata haki, akiongozwa na mwenyekiti Mheshimiwa Chepkonga. Nataka niseme kongole. Pia nataka nitumie fursa hii kusema nashukuru kwa ile kazi ambayo mmefanya kupanga kutokea hapa awali mpaka wa sasa. Tumeona kweli kazi hii imefanyika jinsi imekuwa ikihitajika. Tumeona ya kwamba uwazi imeonekana tangu ilipoanzwa kujadiliwa ama kuchunguzwa. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme nashukuru kwa kazi hii ambayo imefanyika tukiongozwa na kamati ya AD-HOC ambaye tuliweza kukabidhi kazi hii waweze kuendesha. Pia nami nataka niunge mkono kusema ya kuwa wacha haki iweze kutendeka. Hili ni jambo ambalo imekuza wengi sana na imefanya watu wengine hata kuwa maskini. Imefanya watu wengine hata kuongezeka kugonjeka. Kwa sababu kwa mfano mtu ameenda kuomba deni mahali ya 1.5 million. Halafu hiyo deni inazaa kila kuchao. Na mpaka wa leo imekuwa muda mrefu. Saa hizi huenda huyo mtu anadaiwa zaidi ya 2 million. Na yule aliyekula ako anakaa kwa starehe. Na mtu hapa anakumbuka ndalipa kwa njia gani. Isitoshe mtoto hakwenda angali kwa wale ambao hawakwenda. Mimi ni mmoja ambaye niliweza kuathirika kwa jambo hili. Kwa sababu wakati ambaye mimi nilikuwa katika siasa nikingangana jinsi wanang'enyi lelwod wataniteua. Pia dadangu akafaulu kuwa mmoja mwakwenda nchi ya Finland. Na hivyo basi mimi ni mmoja ambaye tulingangana sana kuhakikisha kwamba niko hapa, pesa ya campaign inahitajika, dadangu anataka 1,000,000 na 200,000. Na tukawa tunangangana kwa sababu tulikuwa tunajua kwamba ikiwa kama ni jambo la maana wacha tupiganie. Lakini kwa sasa mpaka wa leo hajaenda. Wala ambao walienda tunasikia ambao ya kuwa leo imekuwa ni siku ya mwisho kwa sababu ya ile kuchelewa kwa school fees ama kwa mahitaji ya shule. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme ya kwamba hili imekuwa ni jambo ambalo limeweza kutukera sana. Kwa sababu hata saa hizi tumekuwa tukiongea na dadangu. Anasema ya kwamba sijui tena kuna fedha inahitajika iwekwe kwa account, ionekane ya kwamba account yako iko na pesa kiwango fulani ili uweze kupewa fursa sasa ya kwenda kule. Sasa jameni, baada ya hawa wanafunzi kucheleweshwa, baada ya hii mahangaiko yote ambayo hawa wanafunzi wamepitia na wazazi, halafu tena wanasema mzazi anza shika mfuko, tafuta fedha zingine. Tunataka kuuliza haki itatokelezea wapi? Ikiwa kama wale wahusika jinsi kamati ambayo imekuwa ikifanya uchunguzi imetuelekeza ya kuwa wale wanafunzi waende shule. Ni gharama yao kufanya kazi yote tuhakikisha kwamba wanafunzi wako kule shuleni. Sio eti tena waanze kutupatia magharama zingine na ile hali kwanza tumepotesha muda mrefu sana, ambapo kama hata ingekuwa mtu kuajiriwa kazi angekuwa ameweza kutusaidia ama kusaidia familia yake. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme ya kwamba naomba sana bunge hili tuweze kuunga mkono mswada huu, na mbali na hiyo tuweze pia kuendelea kufuatilia yale masuala ambayo inaendelea katika wahusika ambao walikuwa wanahusika na kazi hiyo ya kushughulikia watoto hao waende kusoma na kufanya kazi kule ng'ambo. Tuwafuatilie moja kwa moja, tujue ni nini wanafanya, kwa sababu sisi hapa tunaweza kuwa tunaongea kama viongozi, na labda raia pia kule wanatumiwa kwa njia tofauti, na kwa sababu raia yeye angalii ya kwamba ni nini ambalo bunge linaweza sema. Raia akiambiwa ya kwamba tunahitaji kitu fulani ama inahitajika kwa njia fulani, yeye hako tayari kufanya hivyo kwa sababu yeye anajililia. Kwa hivyo ni jambo nzuri ambayo pia inahitajika ya kwamba ile mipango ambao wale wako wanapanga kwa sasa, sisi kama bunge hili la kaunti tuweze kujua ni nini inaendelea na wamefikisha wapi na ni kwa nini wanafanya hivyo, ili mambo haya yaendelee kufanyika kwa uwazi. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme, kwa sababu ya muda na najua wengi wetu tumechangia, sisi kama waheshimiwa kutoka bunge hili la kaunti ya Uasin Gishu tusimame imara jinsi tulianza kazi hii na tumalize kwa jinsi hiyo. Kama hatukuweza kuongwa ile wakati yote, natumai ya kwamba hatutakuwa na fursa tena ambayo tutaongwa, ni mpaka haki iweze kutendeka. Hivyo basi nataka niseme naunga mkono tuweze kuendesha hoja hii, na wacha Mungu asidi kutuonekania.
Honorable Nicholas.
Asante sana Mr. Speaker kwa kunipa nafasi hii niweze pia kusema machache kulingana na ripoti hii ambaye mimi ni mwanakamati. Nashukuru sana Mr. Speaker kwa direction zako kusimama na kamati hii ambaye ilikuwa naongozwa na mwenzangu Mheshimiwa Okelo Chepkonga, ambaye tuliweza tukakaa chini hapa kwa muda wa siku mingi tukiweza kuangalia kwa undani na kusikia petitioners jinsi vile walikuwa na kuja hapa one by one wakilia kuhusu malalamiko, kuhusu vile watoto wao wanateseka katika nchi hile ya ugenini. Mr. Speaker, ningependa kuunga mkono kabisa kwa moyo wangu wote ripoti hii iweze kupitishwa na iweze kufuatiliwa kabisa, ili hasa recommendations ambayo tumeweza kutoa hapo iweze kufuatiliwa, waweze kuchukua kwa maanani, watu waweze kubeba misalaba yao jinsi vile walivyoanzisha. Program yenyewe ilikuwa nzuri, lakini katikati hapo wakora waliweza wakaingia na wakasababisha mambo mengi ambaye naunga mkono Mheshimiwa Natui na waheshimiwa wote ambayo wameweza kutangulia kuongea kwangu ya kuwa wazazi wanaumia kweli kweli. Watu ni wagonjwa. Niko na wengi sana katika ward yangu ya Tapsagoi ambayo tulifanya harambee, na sasa watoto wanaumia, pesa imekulwa, na wenye wamekula wanaendelea kustarehe na kusuia na kuweka ati tusiweke siasa ripoti hii. So ningependa kusema ripoti hii iende jinsi ilivyo. Tulisikia mambo mengi hata before tuweze kuandika ripoti hii. Recommendation hiyo namba 9 ya Max Global ambaye aliweza kupokea pesa shilingi 1,200 karibu 67,595 na kulikuwa na zingine pia aliweza kusema na anasema hiyo ilikuwa ni just only token, ilhali watoto wanahangaika katika sehemu hile. Je, Waswahili zamani kulikuwa na mtangazaji moja alikuwa anasema hiyo ni ungwana. Hiyo si ungwana kwa kweli. So Cornelius huyu Kiblagat ambaye ni CEO wa Max Global anastahili arudishe pesa hizi kwa sababu watoto wetu wanahangaika. Hawa wengine Mr. Speaker ambaye walihusikana na mambo haya, na ningependa tuweze kusimama kidete kama kaunti yetu ya Uasin Gishu na assembly hii, wewe ukituongoza na kamati yetu hii, ili jambo inapopatikana kwa idara fulani kama for example hii sasa ambaye waliweza kuweka kando waziri wetu ambaye husika wakati huu ambaye alituandikia ripoti hapa kuwa hakuwa na jua chochote ambaye ilikuwa inaendelea, wakatumia watu wadogo kuweza kuangaisha na kusumbua wazazi na kuchukua pesa. So Mheshimiwa Speaker, serikali inastahili kama kuna jambo inafanyika, waziri aweze kujua, director aweze kujua, CEO aweze kujua, na governor pia aweze kujua, kwa sababu ni kitu ambayo ilihusishwa na serikali na sasa wazazi huko wanalalamikia serikali. Jambo lingine ambayo ningependa kusema ni kuwa watoto wenye wako pale, wazazi wanalalamika kuwa waliweza wakakatiwa insurance, hiyo insurance haikuenda kufanya kazi. Je, sasa tunauliza maswali haya ambaye tumeandika recommendation hapo, waweze kufuatilia kwa undani na waweze kuchunguza kazi hii. Tumesikia mambo mengi hata mpaka na sasa wanatuambia huko nje kuwa na wengi ambayo wanaongea wanasema ati hawa watu wako na pesa, hatuwezi wafanyia kitu chochote. Na wazazi wanalia. Kweli wameuza shamba zao, wameuza ng'ombe zao, wameuza kila kitu, investment zao zote. Na sahi ati watu wako na pesa. Tunaomba serikali iweze kuchunguza, iweze kuingilia kati na wafuate kwa makini ili hatua hii iweze kufanyika na wenye walipatikana na makosa na kuchukua pesa ya wazazi waweze kuchukuliwa hatua. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nashukuru kikao hiki, nashukuru bunge letu, tuweze kusimama kidete kwa jambo lolote hili ili tuweze kuaminiwa kwa kweli, kwa sababu tuliweza kuchaguliwa tukutokezea kwa maward zetu, kuweza kusimama pamoja na raia wetu ambaye wanaumia huko nje. So tuko hapa, tunastahili. Hii report ni ya kwanza. Lingine itakapokuja katika assembly hii tuweze kusimama kwa kweli, tusiweze kutingishwa na jambo lolote ili tuweze kupata imani kwa watu wetu. Otherwise, Mheshimiwa Speaker, nashukuru na naunga mkono kabisa ripoti hii tuweze kupitisha jinsi ilivyo. Asante sana.
Honorable sir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to congratulate the chair to the AD-HOC committee, my brother Jebkonga, for work perfectly done. Honorable Speaker, what we have just gone through in this report is the highest conmanship in this world. That few people, few individuals, few officers can manipulate almost everyone to collect monies purporting that children are traveling for further studies. The program that under county government is known. I want to believe that it was in subordination, believing that these are student officers doing their work
without the knowledge of the CECs and other high-ranking officers. It is a criminal in nature. I therefore believe that the law should take its course, and these officers should refund all the monies they took from these accounts. And for that reason, Honorable Speaker, I want to support this motion. Thank you.
Maybe Honorable Whip, if you have something to say.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for also giving me this opportunity to really support this motion that has been brought to this House, this report. Sorry, Honorable Speaker, this report being brought in by the Chair ad-hoc committee, Honorable Chep Konga, and the whole committee at large for their good job that they really did for the people of was in issue, especially our parents who have been aggrieved by the programs that we thought it will help them assist their children, but ending all in vain because of the practices that was realized during the process. As I stand here, Honorable Speaker, at first this program was very good. In fact, we went around with the leadership sensitizing our parents that can we have our children going abroad to seek greener pastures, education, maybe even getting job opportunities.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Maybe the Honorable Member who is in the floor should be able to tell us who went round with who. Thank you.
I mean, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. In my word, not in your word, because as we were doing this around this, we've been called that can our children have other opportunities outside there, because right now here in Kenya we don't get jobs like for the nursing, and our people really were in concurrence with the plea. And in fact, as I speak, Honorable Speaker, is that most of our people really heard of the knowledge that these opportunities were there, and up to now I've been called by those parents that who agreed with the plea that their children could go to Finland, and to date they have not gone. In fact, myself have come even to the office and asked, why have these children who are supposed to have traveled have not yet gone to date? And Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to say, by reading this very able report that has been brought to this House, that today I'm getting the true picture of really what happened during the process. And that's why I want to congratulate this committee, because even I myself was in the dark. I could not understand actually the happenings, because the logo was for the county government of Uasin Gishu, thinking that the government of Uasin Gishu had the real preparation to see that our children are the true beneficiaries of what is going to benefit them from abroad, especially in Finland. And in extension, Honorable Speaker, as I just wanted to support the report, the recommendations, that even the current government, as we sit, they have the same program of our students being taken to Canada. Maybe now what we have realized in the previous government, there was no policy that could guide. And right now, maybe the same may also happen. And I really want to thank this wonderful House for taking the most appropriate measures to see that whenever we have such programs, let us have the true regulations and policies that could guide to such programs. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I want to stand here today for the people of Tuluet Chuyat. And I want to say thank you to this committee, because over the weekend I was in a church I was called aside outside, let's say, outside the tent by several parents who have such programs. And they are telling me, when is our children going to Finland? I was not in a position to answer them because I knew nothing about these programs. And I told them, let me go and investigate when is the most appropriate date that they are supposed to travel. And glad to say that the recommendation of this committee is that they didn't nullify everything, but a continuation of very good arranged programs could be put in place and make those parents who have already paid, let them, the children, continue with the process of going to study. But more so, as news are coming that now the same children who are still studying in Finland have also challenges now as we speak, as reported by the members who have already been called. I don't know now the position that we are going to take as this assembly, but we have to stand and now task the county government of Wasingishu to give us a very comprehensive report now of the whereabouts of our children who are really suffering now. We don't know their fate because maybe now they are even outside even their houses where they have been given refuge, where they seek their refuge. And today, I want to say, Honorable Speaker, let us take this report as soon as possible to the right levels of power to continue and give us the report and be able to be in a position to be given a report on how our children are progressing as at now. I think that is my position, and it's the position of the people that I represent, because many, and I'm standing here today very much happy for this committee. I was not a member, but I've just sat here for all that time. Even I was the one who moved the motion of extension, so that also I would digest more and get to understand the investigations that was being done by this committee. Honorable Speaker, surprisingly, I'm getting some news which is very, 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 very sensitive to even everyone who sits at home as my mother and father, whom his child is outside. Mr. Speaker, I want to say thank you very much. The committee led by Jeb Konga. Thank you, parents who are at the plenary, at the gallery, listening. Thank you for coming to listen and be able to see that this assembly is assembly of great honor. It's an able house who can really do and investigate some issues and bring to sanity everything that we see is not matching with what we want as elective leadership, that we want to see that we really represent our people who sent us to this house, honorable house. So on that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that we, all of us, pass this, maybe the prayer of this committee is that this report be passed and be taken to the next level. I stand here to support this report. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Maybe I will give Honorable Chair 2 minutes for your prayer, and then you can finish.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. And I take this opportunity to thank the membership of the AD-HOC committee and members by extension of this Honorable House, Mr. Speaker, for giving us their dedicated time to prosecute this matter to conclusion. Honorable Speaker, it's been days of research, it's been days of considering all the papers that were submitted to us, and my duty today is to say thank you. Thank you so much, the petitioners. When I see you, I see the future of Wasingishu, represented also by the youth that I'm seeing there. I want to say thank you for standing in the gap. And I want to promise Wasingishu and the entire nation that Uasin Gishu has leaders. And the leaders will stand when the right needs to be observed. Honorable Speaker, we are called to do the right. And that is exactly what we shall do today, tomorrow, and forever. You remember our His Excellency the President at one time asked the residents of Uasin Gishu that, and I quote, nimewaachia nyumbani mupange. Honorable Speaker, we are doing exactly that. Doing it on behalf of the entire leadership. And Mr. Speaker, we are doing that knowing well that there are some leaders who don't like the truth, who don't like justice. And we are saying, Honorable Speaker, that there are leaders who will stand for that truth. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nikimalizia ni kwamba leo hii tumepata barua ya kwamba masomo yamesitishwa kule ughaibuni. Na sababu ya kusitishwa kwa masomo haya ni kwamba hatujaweza kulipa fee.
Point of order, Speaker.
Yes, what's it, Honorable? You ready?
I want to appreciate what the chair is saying, but switching from English to Kiswahili is not the order of this house. Kindly let him use one. Thank you.
Thank you, much obliged, Honorable my senior, Mary Goretti. I thought I wanted to sharpen my Swahili skills using this airtime, but nonetheless, my apologies, Honorable House. I'm made aware that some students in Finland are not proceeding on with their education now. Reason is that their school fee were paid per semester. And what the parents paid here was meant for the whole year. Where is the other half of the money? Jesus Christ help us. The only problem, Honorable Speaker, is that we are called into these offices to execute matters that aims at protecting the citizens of this republic. Honorable Speaker, we are not yet done. And I'm asking the executive, led by Honorable His Excellency Mr. Chelilim, that let this cup not fall on your door. Because this government of Honorable Chelilim was found, Okello being included. Let this cup not come to your door. Run away from it so that we crucify all those that took part in this anomaly and have our government as good as they are to do the right thing. It's my humble request, Honorable Speaker, that the executive does their part and that we, the County Assembly of Uasin Gishu, do our part to save the nation, to save the county government of Uasin Gishu. And for that much remarks, Honorable Speaker, I also want to appreciate separately the works done by our communication department, headed by one Lime, Madam Lime. She's done a wonderful job here. I just thought that I could recognize her in a special way for the untiring effort she put to this committee and by showing Kenya what Uasin Gishu does. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, for standing this match. I want to appreciate what the majority whip did by seeking the extension of time so that members could air their issues well concerning this report. I want to thank you, Honorable Majority Whip, because you've given members time to say what they heard. Honorable Speaker, it was my prayer that this assembly adopts this report so that the next action is called on. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, I heard Honorable Member Rebecca Chepchirchir say that it should be acted upon in less than 7 days. My prayer, Honorable Speaker, is that this one be acted upon immediately after these members approve. And for that much remarks, Honorable Member, I beg that this report be adopted. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members and the members of this ad hoc committee. I will now put a question that this county assembly do adopt a report of the ad hoc committee on petition on Finland scholarship program through Uasin Gishu County government dated 28th February 2023 and table on 28th February 2023 with or without amendments. Will as many of the same opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. Since there is no any other business, this outstand adjourn up to 2:30 p.m.